The UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says there must be a US backstop for a lasting peace agreement in Ukraine after European leaders met in Paris for an emergency summit.
The US security guarantee is the only way to effectively deter Russia from attacking Ukraine again.
Meanwhile, US-Russia talks on Ukraine will begin on Tuesday in the Saudi Arabia capital of Riyadh. A Delta airplane flips upside down on landing in Toronto. All 80 people on board exited the aircraft alive.
Airport emergency workers mounted a textbook response, reaching the site within minutes and quickly evacuating the passengers.
We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
An astonishing sight at Toronto Airport in Canada. A plane flips upside down on landing. Incredibly, everyone on board survived.
At 6, the United States and Russia agree to start working on a plan to end the war in Ukraine after the first face-to-face talks since the Russian invasion. The US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, calls the talks in Saudi Arabia the first step of a long and difficult journey. Ukraine was not invited. Instead, President Zelensky was more than 1,000 miles away meeting Turkey's president. He insists Ukraine and Europe must be involved in any talks. Also tonight, the moment a plane crash-landed and flipped over in Toronto. Incredibly, all 80 passengers have survived. We'll hear from some of them. A British couple arrested in Iran during a motorbike tour around the world have been charged with espionage.
It's a lovely pub, but it is absolutely slammed full.
And why this former pub landlord is having half a pint in 40,000 pubs across the UK.
Hamas says it will release 6 living Israeli hostages on Saturday instead of the planned 3. It is a surprise increase that is reportedly in return for Israel allowing mobile homes and construction equipment into the Gaza Strip. Hamas also confirmed that the bodies of 4 others will be released on Thursday. The 3 family members of Yarden Bibas, who was released earlier this month, are believed to be among those being returned. His wife Shiri and 2 young children, Ariel and Kafir, were reportedly killed in an airstrike. And more than 30 people have been killed in a bus crash on a mountain road in Bolivia. Local police say the vehicle plunged almost 800 metres into a ravine in the southwestern district of Yocala. 20 people have been injured, 19 of whom were sent to local hospitals.
Prison overcrowding. A review says the problem has been made worse by longer jail terms, driven by successive governments wanting to look tough on crime.
Good morning. Could we see tax-free cash ISAs scrapped? They are a popular way to save, but some firms are urging the Chancellor to change the rules.
At the moment, let's take a look at today's papers, and most of the front pages lead with the latest on the Ukraine war, as peace talks between the US and Russia begin very shortly in Saudi Arabia. The Guardian focuses on quotes from the Prime Minister, who says he would consider deploying British troops to Ukraine in the event of a deal.
But the Telegraph is reporting disagreements between European leaders about that idea of sending troops to Ukraine. It's quoting the German Chancellor as saying the idea that's been put forward by Keir Starmer is completely premature and highly inappropriate.
The I paper says a UK deployment to Ukraine would be bigger than in Afghanistan and could see more cuts to afford the extra defence spending.
The Mirror also leading on the war in Ukraine, calling today's peace talks a test of strength for Sir Keir Starmer. The paper adds that the Prime Minister also emphasised that Ukraine itself must be included in those negotiations.
Now, yesterday we covered the issue of glaring headlights when driving at night, especially during the winter months. This after an RAC survey showed that 97% of drivers think that headlights are too bright.
And we had an absolutely massive
Certainly
response, didn't we, on emails and texts. We love hearing from you. Lots of you talking about the impact that those bright lights are having.